Right. So, good evening, friends. In this session, I'll be discussing about the topic nuclei in the cut section of spinal cord. Right? Nuclei in the cut section of spinal cord. What does it mean? It means that, say, example, if this is the spinal cord, right? This part, I have cut the section of the spinal cord. When I cut the section of the spinal cord, and this is the lower section, right, which I have removed, and if I view it from above, remember, if I view it from above, and you can see there are some nuclei which are present in the spinal cord, right? So this is a section of the spinal cord. Now what does it mean and what's happening at this aspect? In this aspect, you need to understand the outer layer, right? The white layer which is present at this aspect. Say example, first let's go with the one which is drawing here, which I am drawing. This is a gray layer, okay? This is a gray matter. Only to differentiate, right? This is a gray matter. The one which is present here, the one which is looking white, and this is known as white matter. And this white matter, okay, which is present here, it is all because of collection of axons. Now what does it mean? I've told you that if this is the nerve, this is a cell body, and this is an axon, and this collection of axons are present in this white matter. Now what is this here? What is this? The one which is present here, right, is gray matter. The one which is present here is gray matter. Now white is gray in nature. Remember that the gray matter is because of collection of cell bodies, right? It is because of collection of cell bodies. When I tell this is because of collection of cell bodies, that is the reason, because of the granules which are present in the cell body, this look a gray nature. And this gray matter, right, which is present here, has got a parts. What is that? The one which is present in the posterior is the posterior horn, which is sensory. The one which is present in the anterior, this is an anterior horn, which is motor, right? The one which is present in the lateral aspect is the lateral horn. The one, this is the posterior aspect, this is the anterior aspect. The one which is present in the anterior, you call it as anterior horn, a horn-like nature, horn-like structure. The one which is present, the horn which is present in the posterior looks like posterior horn. And what is the function of this posterior horn? Remember, this is sensory. What is the nature of this anterior horn? This is motor. How do you remember that? After PO comes, after OS comes, S for sensory. Right? That's all you need to understand regarding the basic structure, how the white matter is there, how the gray matter is divided. Now you need to understand the nuclei present in the horns, right? The nucleus which are present in the horn. You observe carefully here, right? If you observe carefully, you have the nucleus which are present in the anterior, right? This is an anterior horn of the gray matter. You have a nucleus which is present here. This is what? This is the one which is present in the lateral. This is a lateral nuclei. The one which is present in the central group or intermediate nuclei. The one which is present in the medial aspect is the medial aspect of the medial nucleus. The one thing you need to understand, the lateral group of nucleus or the lateral nucleus What does it do? It innervate, right? L for limb, L for limb. So the one which is present in this nucleus, they innervate the lateral or they innervate the limb muscles, right? What is present in the medial aspect, guys? In the medial aspect, remember that this medial, when I tell this is a limb muscle, L for limb, can I tell this is an M, it is an axial muscle, remember, right? This is an axial muscle, right? This is an axial muscle. Now what is the function of this central group or intermediate? Is this is the group or the medial nucleus. Where does it innervate? It is a nucleus for what? It is nucleus for phrenic nerve and spinal accessory nerve, right? It is a spinal accessory nerve. So just remember that the group of nucleus which are present in the lateral, it is a lateral nucleus, which is present in the medial is a medial nucleus, which is present in the central is the intermediate nucleus. The one which is present in the lateral group of nucleus, they innervate L for axial, L for axial, L for limb, L for limb, L for limb, they innervate the limb muscles. The one which is present in the medial, which is in the central, remember that they innervate the axial muscles. Now what is the function of this? What do you mean by axial? Axial is nothing but in the central, like head and trunk. Then what is the function of this intermediate group? Remember that it is a nucleus for this police station, PS, that is phrenic nerve and the spinal accessory nerve. That's all the basic function of these groups and where they innervate, where the nucleus is far. Now let us look into the nuclei which are present in the posterior horn. What are the nuclei which are present in the posterior horn, guys? If you look into the first nuclei, the one which is here is substantia gelatinosa. The second one is nucleus, right? You can look into this, right? Nucleus, right? This and nucleus proprius is there. We'll discuss. And you have got something known as Clerk's column, right? This is a Clerk's column, right? You have the next one, the visceral, okay? The visceral afferent. So let us look into the first important aspect of substantia gelatinosa. So if you observe carefully here, right, this is what? This is a substantia gelatinosa. The one which is present, this is a substantia gelatinosa. Right? Now, what is the function of this substantia gelatinosa? Remember that this substantia gelatinosa, this is a nucleus for spinothalamic tract, ST. S for substantia, S for spinal, right? Right, ST, substan, tan, ST, it is spinothalamic. The one next, you need to look into this. We have got something known as, what is that? It is nucleus proprius. This is what? This is a nucleus proprius. Now what is the function of this nucleus proprius? Remember that few fibers of the dorsal column relay here. That's what you need to understand, right? Few columns, that's what you need to understand. Few fibers of the dorsal column, they relay here. What does it mean? You know that the dorsal column, which is coming from the cerebrum, right, they come through this medulla oblongata, pons, right, midbrain, pons, medulla oblongata, all the structures, and few fibers of the dorsal column, remember that few fibers of the dorsal column, they relay here. Remember, they relay here. We'll discuss in detail regarding the dorsal column, all that, right? Relay here, and the function of this is to elicit the reflex. Remember that, right? The dorsal column, few fibers, they go and they relay here. You have another important aspect that is known as, what is that? It is Clerk's column. And what do you mean by Clerk's column? And Clerk's column is a nucleus for this is a spinal going above into the cerebrum or cerebellum, and this is known as spinocerebellar pathway. Remember that. It is a spino-cerebellar pathway. C for cerebellar, which is coming from the spine. The nerves which are coming from the spine to the cerebellum. It is a nucleus for the spino-cerebellar pathway. Now, the next important aspect where you have that is known as, you have got something known as a visceral, visceral afferent, right? And you have somewhere over here, you have at this aspect somewhere here where you have got a visceral afferent. Remember that this is an visceral afferent. What is this? What is the visceral afferent here? It carries afferent fibers from the viscera. Now what actually it carries? It can carry the afferent fibers from the stomach, from the liver, from the visceral organs. Okay, so that's the four basic point you need to understand. The visceral afferent, which carries the afferent fibers from the viscera, which